Ancient Caucasian Genocide, the hidden truth. Hello, my people. Again, I come to you from the darkness behind the veil. I come to you from behind those secret things that obscure the truth or darken the light. I will tell you something awesome and give you a greater understanding of how things are and were. I will set you in a place so that you will see what will come. We acknowledge no manipulative power beyond that of perpetual motion. Therefore, by that authority, I inform you and your gods that all breaches in the divine plane is already failed. It began in the beginning period at the end of a dispensation where certain knowledge about the ordering of society and creating worlds and paradigms to rule as God became a thing. The man and the humankind, demigods and godlings, found greed. Greed brought hate and hate prejudice. A few that took interest in the wisdom of the black priests that were in Asia at the seat of their power wanted to be that power. They wanted to make their people a very young flock, not yet cultivated to the world sciences, the beacon of science and societal light. Who were these people? They were a created and cultivated few. Partly by natural selection they were created, and partly by miscegenation also were they created. They were the children of man, but they seemed to be different. Why and how were they made to seem different? By natural selection, miscegenation, and an incubating culture. They were moved to a place in and around the Mittani region and also around the Eurasia, where many of the peoples of origins were already massacred. They were chosen to replace the others by culture, not by race, for there were no different races. It was only that the illusion of a difference could be used to strengthen the prejudice and hate necessary to carry out the will of their gods, who were the ruthless demigods and followers of the karmic and anarchy gods. The idea was not to create a race, but to create a new world culture and become gods. A race was used to create the image of a difference, to create enmity, and then to succeed by way of war. The cultivated mindset, being servitude to the demon gods, would be the light of the world. And as they served their karmic gods, the world would be the sheep to these gods. Higher wisdom also rested at the feet of Europa, in the regions of ancient Greece, in the Italian domains, where a transplanted civilization was created upon the mountains of bones of the originals, on the genocide of the black priests, servants of golden age gods and their children. These civilizations enjoyed the heavenly eons, but now a new darkness came. The old gods were being cleared, new gods were being brought in to bring new experiences to the living soul beings on the earth plane. By this way, darkness will ratify the light for future times, and the children of men will gain first-hand wisdoms of light and of darkness. At the end of this eon of ages, those abused warriors that overcame will be brought to divine godhood. So, as never to compromise the subjugation of the masses, the God powers will only make the few govern the many on every dimension of the earth reality. That few would ever be the house slave and given a sense of inclusion to power when they were not of any value to their masters. This was the reason for the concocting of an idea that there was a white race. One example by which to understand is this. The reason why the Japanese have Ugandan names is because when they brought the aristocratic conditioning to Japan, it was by the same means used all across the world, like as to widen out the population. There were mass murders of males and mass rape of females, but the words of people, places, and things would remain. all that would happen is the face of the race would seem to change. Their image would be transplanted, but by their little drop of blood will they become the indigenous, and the indigenous will become outcast, lost in the woods to be never seen or heard of, as would be the present case in places as Japan and China. Comfortisi, who might be related to the Kwahu of Africa, is Confucius to China. Aboda, the light being, the Ashanti, will become Buddha, but the deeper truth of the legacy will have changed. The children of the new mulatto fold will bear the name of the highest ranks of the black priest and take the legacies. On many occasions, you hear about great men in present day Europe that came from Africa to rule, but you do not know the truth. From behind the veils, I tell you that these people come from nowhere. They were remnants of the ancients that were holocausted and supplanted. King James was the last black king of England. Only the woman, not unlike the one from South Africa, can lay claims to the bones buried beneath the dirt of the UK. If we do not tell you these things, your vision of the past will be or remain confused. So, one of the first uprooting of the black legacy happened in the Caucasus Mountains. The black priests still held the light of wisdom from golden years. With such wisdom, a world order could be created to the divine. However, those that have greed and hate will only create the hell, and this video will also show you the descent of the human world from heaven to hell. This earth at this present time is the ultimate hell plane, and by the use of the adverse cultivations and conditioning of a few incubated white folks, it becomes a demon order. The only person who was not there on the day that this evil was planned for the world was the white man. The black man was there, so we have no reason to cast blames. This discussion is for us to cast aside ego, face the truth, and begin from there. In olden days, wiser humans of science, wizards that passed as gods, used miscegenation to alter the offsprings to women. Over a period of time, as in the case of the birth of Noah, a child would come having the appearance of what we now know as white people. This was where these ancient demon gods got the idea that they could use selective breeding to amass a population. Then they would bring them to the desert, to Greece, to Mitanni, to the Caucasus, or somewhere secluded to incubate and cultivate their minds to their favor. All that they knew and how they see the world would be by design of the karmic gods. You will only live within that cultivated box. All they knew was that they were different, of another race, that others were their enemy, and that they had to use the force of war to obtain and maintain the good in life. This is not something that a people decided on doing by their own design. It was a deliberate and incubated culture. They learned the art of horseback riding from aboriginals that now live in India. This was their first step to the obsession with becoming warlords, conquerors, and shepherds of men. But the God whom they served was always in the shadows. They were informed about the all powerful wisdoms possessed by the black priest of the Caucasus. This was the true Caucasian people, just as how before the people from Holland invaded South Africa had only that one indigene that we know. However, this is how these changes and darkening of history was done. They went, befriended, obtained wisdom, then they massacred, they raped, and they transplanted or supplanted. At the end of this genocide, with as much of the wisdom of the black priests they had the ability to fathom, for much of this wisdom is not intelligence but frequency. I say, much of this wisdom is not intelligence but frequency. They became the indigenous Caucasians with the percentage of the wisdoms they could grasp. They became Caucasians just as how they became Aryans or South Africans. This is to give the peoples of the world of all the races the tools to decipher. It will not be easy to find these resources anywhere else. It is not of the norm, but I am peculiar to your world. If you want this lesson, or if you want these lessons to go around, please like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.